The Marnix Academie is actually, I think, the institution that got it going, that started the application, and therefore it's a leader in the whole process. And I think the most valuable part of the Marnix is its relationship to the work field with the primary school teachers, and therefore also the children that can benefit from 21st century skills and digital innovation in cultural heritage education.
We're in a foundation for landscape and heritage, and we do all kinds of things supporting also the province of Utrecht. But my specialty is education. And what we do is we work a lot for schools, but also for cultural partners. So we have these two sides. We have schools, primary schools, and cultural partners. We are experts in heritage education, so we bring in our knowledge of heritage education and what heritage education is, and how you can use it in the schools, because we are also our working field is also the schools, so we have really also practical knowledge of how heritage education can be useful in schools. And we also have this network of schools and also cultural partners. So I think these two sides are very useful, and also because we're not so theoretical, we're not a scientific organization, but we're really with, with the feet on the ground, and very close to schools, very close to all the cultural organizations in the province of Utrecht. So we are really close to the working field.
Actually, we've already been working the pilot phase for 2 years. Last year we had students of the academic version of the teacher trainer institution do background research on the different topics. They did in-depth research on 21st century skills, creativity, interaction, and cultural heritage and digital innovation. And this year, actually last year, our students developed on the basis of this in-depth research of the students the year before. The students developed good practices. We did this in cooperation with Landschap Erfgoed Utrecht.
And what we do as Landschap Erfgoed Utrecht, together with Marnix, but our expertise was on different levels. In the first phase of this pilot, we brought a lot of knowledge to the students, because they don't know anything about heritage education. So we did a workshop lecture for 2.5 hours about what is heritage, what is heritage education, what does it do with the 20th century first skills, how can you be really creative with heritage education, because we also, one of our strengths, maybe also for the project, is that we really find it important that pupils have a creative part also in working with heritage education, and also with if they use any digital instruments, it's nice if they have their creative part and it's not answering yes or no on questions. So and we gave also a lecture workshop kind about creativity. What is a creative person? What is a creative process? What is a good creative project, and what is important if you work in a class in a creative process for the for the environment? How do you make the pupils feel safe to make stupid questions, or to have all the time and space to have an open mind to the subject and experiment in the phase. So in the first part, we just brought a lot of knowledge. Then the students of the Marnix Academie started thinking and developing their pilot project. And Leu, together with Landschap Erfgoed Utrecht, and together with the Marnix, but also one of our close companies we're working together, Kunst Centraal, we're supporting them in their ideas. Like, we call it a klankbord. How do you say that? That you start together a discussion with the students on how you can make it better, sharper, more focused. So we did 2 or 3 times sessions like that. And our expertise were involved in these sessions. And afterwards, the students developed their project for the classroom. Afterwards, we are, together with Marnix, we are searching for what are the ingredients with working and stimulating 20th century for learning together with heritage education. What are the strong elements, and also how can you monitor it as a teacher?
What I think went very well was the meaningful teaching scenarios that were developed. I was very pleased to see that by combining 21st century skills with cultural heritage education, you immediately get a very rich starting point for teachers and also for the pupils. The pupils always get a very interesting question, because heritage is always about connecting the past to the present and to yourself, and then the 21st century skill makes it more than just reproducing facts, but you need to get involved. And this combination, it always, all the projects were good in their basic design.
One of the added values of this complete project, I think, is the working together with the Marnix Academie, which is really, I think, an added value, how we work together, how we influence each other. What I always also find really meaningful for us as Landschap Erfgoed Utrecht is the menu structure we make together with all the partners in DICHE, because for us that was quite a new learning. What is it? How can you use it? When is it useful? What does it do? We were just, maybe because we are heritage, we were a little bit followers and not really on top of it. And now we're more eager to participate or think in our projects and work from what can we do with digital tools.
We had a small group of students, and as a result, the task became very complicated because we couldn't make groups. We wanted each student to develop their own good practice situation, but the problem is that it demands a lot from the students, because they need to get used to working with cultural heritage, they need to get used to working with 21st century skills. They have 30 pupils in their class, they are still training to become a teacher. There's many facets that make it very difficult, and because they all needed to create their own good practice, they couldn't collaborate, and each individual student had, I think, a task a little too big for them. So we may have overstretched our students a bit.
I don't think if I will do something different, but I think, and what I find difficult was, of course, with the foreign countries like Italy and sometimes England or Leuven, is that most of the time you don't see each other, and there is difference. And sometimes you really start to understand what they are doing when it's already finished. So also the last time in Italy, we were you suddenly see what the app of Co-op was, the website they were making, your app, and then I find it very difficult to in the process to interfere for like, oh, is that useful for us? So most of the time you react afterwards.
More students on one project, so they can share the burden and share their tasks, and maybe use each other a little more active in the brainstorm process and also the execution, because monitoring 21st century skills with 30 pupils is a difficult task no matter what. So more pupils, less projects, but we need more projects, so more time, so the pupils can work together.
If you really want to make it work, I think it's good that you maybe more together or in small groups and then working close together. But all the time now it was once a year, maybe twice a year you were together, and then everybody was back in his own office doing his own thing, working further, and afterwards bringing it back together. And of course, if there's more money and you could really make a work week or something, that we really were together for a complete weekend or week in Corsica or another nice place, and really a working session together. So you can see immediately what the effects are, or you can really think together and develop things at the moment. All the time we were together, it was most of the time talking and evaluating or thinking something through, but not working. Just say, okay, now you two go working, make a schedule or make a plan, and then we discuss this afterwards. You know what I mean? It was a group process most of the time, and in 1.5 days, it's then not that much to. So I think if there was more money or more time, or that really working together would be useful, and then in small groups, not with the complete group.